For the first time ever, Donald Trump is mortally wounded, losing support amongst the MAGA faithful and influencers alike, and is acting like a caged and wounded animal, striking out against anyone within reach. First, a former Trump insider and now Newsweek is talking about Trump's biggest stumble and how the fall could be fatal. Trump is crippled and weak because, as ex-insider Lev Parnas puts it, Trump's kryptonite has been exposed. But rather than celebrating, Parnas is sounding the alarm that Democrats are going to walk away right when they have the ability to make Trump's whole house of cards come toppling down. Now, on the one hand, with the Supreme Court getting back in line to let Trump do whatever he wants when it comes to gutting the federal government, Trump seems stronger than he has ever been. Building a concentration camp in the middle of the Florida Everglades, Trump's semi-declared war on American citizens in the streets of LA is also a direct assault on the American Constitution that the Supreme Court seems content to just let happen. And yet the famous flood the zone strategy advocated by Steve Bannon is starting to show severe cracks. Flooding the zone works when you've got Steph Curry on your team, but as Pete Hegseth so clearly demonstrates, Trump's team is the Washington Generals, and they are exposing Trump's incompetence as well as their own. And while Hegseth is a perennial screw-up, cosplaying Kristi Noem is now showing that Hegseth is not the only incompetent in the administration. Headlines are now screaming about how Kristi Noem took 3 days to approve FEMA rescue operations after a flash flood in Texas claimed over 100 lives. This is on top of everyone pointing the finger that the famous Doge cuts are responsible for eliminating National Weather Service personnel whose job it is to predict and warn against such catastrophes. And yet, it's looking like Teflon Don is going to walk away from the Texas tragedy unscathed as well. So while it is amazing that Trump seemingly survived Elon Musk's open war on the federal government, it looks like he's not going to survive Elon's parting shot. As everyone recalls, when Elon was booted out of the White House, he did what every jilted lover does. He took a parting shot on social media, and not surprisingly, it went viral, posting that Trump is in the Epstein files. And actually, it probably would have died down with a lot of people chalking it up to Elon just throwing a tantrum. Except for the fact that Trump surrounds himself with unqualified sycophants. Enter Pam Bondi, who couldn't wait to get in front of the cameras and say this.
Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that.
And then issue the Epstein reports to this group of influencers. Bondi totally and completely played up the Epstein list and then had to make a ham-handed announcement that there is no Epstein list. MAGA world went ape, plunging into a civil war. But don't mistake this as just turmoil and typical Trump chaos. According to ex-insider Lev Parnas, Trump is now going around threatening allies to shut up about the Epstein files because he knows he is losing followers. Parnas wrote that, "My sources are telling me that Trump has now weaponized the FBI and DOJ, not just against his enemies, but against his own. That's right, right-wing reporters, MAGA influencers, and pro-Trump media figures are being warned. Stop talking about Epstein or face prosecution. Silence or punishment. That's the message being delivered. I've seen this tactic before when I was on the inside, but never this desperate and never this dangerous." It's not hard to believe Parnas, especially since Jesse Edwards is affirming that this specific moment in front of the press has mortally wounded Trump.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
But why is this scandal and this bungled moment turning into Trump's kryptonite? Well, Parnas makes it clear when he writes, "This is the story. This is what Trump used to build his movement. Epstein and the deep state were part of the MAGA playbook we installed from day one. We tied Epstein to the Clintons, to Democrats, to Hollywood elites, all as a distraction while Trump built his own empire of corruption behind the curtain." And Jesse Edwards agrees, writing, This is the guy who once claimed to have all the answers. Now, when confronted with one of the biggest questions from his own base, he is sweating like a man who just got caught with a burner phone and a one-way ticket on the Lolita Express. So in other words, Trump rode the tiger to get into office, and now the tiger has turned. MAGA influencers are at each other's throats, and the MAGA faithful are feeling betrayed. As Edwards writes, this is not just political whiplash, it is ideological betrayal. And while some of his followers may continue to explain it away, many are seeing it for what it is. Trump didn't drain the swamp, he became its mascot. But Parnas is warning that rather than pouncing on the opportunity when Trump is at his weakest, Democrats are moving on to other things. Parnas writes that a lot of people on the left are saying, enough with Epstein. They want to move on. They say the narrative is stale, but that's because they don't understand Donald Trump. They don't understand MAGA. They don't realize this is Trump's kryptonite. And Newsweek's Jesse Edwards agrees, writing, Trump's handling of the Epstein situation has been catastrophically bad. The president didn't just dodge it, he panicked. It wasn't just a missed opportunity, it was a revealing moment that showed just how much he has to lose if people keep asking questions. So why aren't the Democrats seizing on the moment? Because for the most part, this is the kind of sordid politics that the left tries to not engage in. It's too close to the kind of dirty politics that the political right uses to con people into voting for them. The left prefers to win on substance and on addressing the issues. And by and large, the left also rejects the call to engage in the dirty tactics of the right, and I wholeheartedly agree. But the last thing progressives should do is walk away from this issue. If nothing else, this is a matter of victims' rights, as this brave survivor has made clear. We all know that Trump is an adjudicated rapist. To let go of the fact that he is most likely guilty of other sex crimes against underage victims is the worst kind of betrayal of justice. And to walk away when the heat is on only amplifies that betrayal. If anything, the left needs to keep pushing this issue and never let it fade out of the news cycle. Because make no mistake about it, this is Trump's Watergate. His followers are abandoning him because they know he has broken the law in a way that disgusts them. And just like Watergate, there's no doubt that evidence is being withheld and has probably been destroyed. And if the people doing it are as incompetent as Pam Bondi, then it will be easy to find them and get them to talk. Because this time, it's both the crime and the cover-up. And Trump should go to jail for both. MAGA might even cheer if he does. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.